December Home, one of the original members of this group, Old Growth Alliance, one of the main founders, why we're here today too. Chief, thank you for being here.
Hello, my name is Lonny, and it's an honor to be here. This is my second year here, and I'm really grateful for Nahan and Tabitha. Nahan flew all the way down here from Alaska just to keep the tradition of this gathering alive, and my hands go up to him in his efforts. You know, everybody should feel angry. You know, I mean, anger is a normal thing. It's some of the things that we face and what we see and hear and are beat down with in our schools. I mean, that place right over there still has Columbus Day commercials. I'm tired of watching Columbus Day commercials. But you know what? In that subconscious thing that goes on, in that TV that drones on or that radio that goes on, is it just kind of reinforces, and you just say, oh well, you know what? I'm tired of being oh well. You know, for the longest time I was an angry man, and I didn't know how to say things in a way that got any kind of response other than, oh man, I don't want to talk to you. You know, I could get all kinds of political, I could get all kinds of angry, but you know what, in my master's degree, in my path in trying to work through these kind of issues, and working with rehabilitation and counseling, you know, for drugs, and talking with, you know, the things that are happening as a result of these policies, as a result of the anger and the trauma from the boarding schools, from the policies. My grandmother, you know, she lost her enrollment because of the Dawes Act. I mean, the policies are still going on. Everybody, you know, what I really don't understand, first words out of Obama's mouth on the stage of the White House was, we shall dissolve the lines of tribes. And everybody said, yay! And you know what, I really don't understand all the support. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's better than Bush. But he ain't much better than Bush. He's doing the same things. He made Homeland Security. In fact, you know, technically, because of Obama, the police could roll down on us and handcuff us all. I don't believe they will. They didn't last year. I mean, the police sat in their bicycles to make sure it didn't get bad. But you know what? It ain't changed. You know, I went to the International Healing from Trauma workshop symposium over at Suquamish. It was one of the best, most eye-opening things I saw. The United States isn't the only place that this goes on. It happened in Australia, it happened in New Zealand, it happened in Hawaii. Everywhere Europe went, put the people under the shackle. Mentally, physically, and spiritually. You know, the boarding schools beat everybody that went to them down for speaking their language, for praying to their God. It wasn't until 1970s that you could sing a song. It wasn't until the 1970s that you could have a sweat lodge. You couldn't go pray, you couldn't do Sundance, you couldn't do nothing because it was against the law. Well, you know what? Everybody went underground and kept their faith. Everybody went underground and kept their spirit. Now we have the right, you know, kind of late as it is, to speak. You know, going to school, and I got to calm myself down because, you know, this is angry. Really, really angry. But you know what? Where does that lead me? It leads me to go, well, what can I do about it? You know? What were my prayers to the grandfathers in the rocks on the ground, in the hole, in the sweat lodge? Teach me. What will it give me so we can change to make it better? I'm grateful for all these people that are here. You know, I'm grateful for all the people that can at this time take one step towards change. Because every year, one step is the start of change. You know, my path that I chose, healing isn't all about being a doctor, because you know what? They're just paid for by the pill companies. You know, the pill companies ain't going to clear the spiritual wound, the soul wound that has happened throughout this world. You know, the healing starts in the mind. Yeah, of course there's bacteria and disease, but you know what? There's more to it than that, because what you believe, what you feel, and what you know can heal you too. You know, I really have a hard time, because you know, like I said, being willing to speak what I gotta say, what I feel, what I think, what I know, and if people don't like it, sorry, they, you know, I don't have to talk to them. I can talk. You don't have to listen. That's all I gotta say to them. Pardon me? Well, you know what? Until with all the indigenous that are now going to college, there's more and more and more that are coming into those positions of power. But you know what? It was amazing for the year that I spent in my practicum at my university working with the heritage schools. How many times do you think they talk about boarding schools in history? Not once. In fact, the teacher was a survivor of the boarding schools, and she did not speak of them. That hurt me, because you know, tomorrow, and it's significant, I got a chance to meet a woman who wrote a story, starred in a movie and directed it. Tomorrow, Older Than America is being sold on Amazon. Go check it out. Mine's already on the mail. It is one of the best movies for starting discussions. They played it in Squamish, they played it in Tulalip, and I saw elders who were in wheelchairs whose grandson told me later, my grandma has never spoken. And she stood up and grabbed that microphone and she talked and talked and talked and talked. 40, 50, 60 years these people haven't talked. Because you know, I'm telling you right now, we still have boarding schools. Chamawa is listed as an indigenous jail. It is classified as a prison. And we're still sending our kids there. Kids are still dying there. Cindy Suhapi was buried in 2006. She was buried in Chamawa. And people going, whoa, so? You know, it's still going on right under our noses. But nobody says anything. You know, if you got to say something, if people don't like it, move on. Keep saying it. Because until enough people are saying something, people in Seattle, people in Washington, people in the United States ain't going to pay no attention until enough people speak. I hope, all my relations.